Hey friends, welcome back to this video series. In this video, we'll be creating a workflow that will automate the task such that whenever a task is assigned to any of our admin, the workflow is going to trigger and then send them a reminder that a certain task has been assigned to that. So having said all of that, let's begin. So the first thing you will be, you go to your Power Automate and then click on your new flow to create a new flow. So we'll continue with the cloud automated cloud workflow, and I'm going to name it send an email once a ticket is assigned to an admin, to an IT admin. So it's going to send email, and then we are using when an item is modified or created. So I'm going to create that. So I'm going to click on this, and here we'll have to select the SharePoint address, site address. Just wait for it to load. I'm going to select where my SharePoint site is, which is under the IT team. Next will be to select the list name, which is IT help desk list. And once we have that, we are good with that. So we can click on the plus sign to add another option. You can click on the plus sign to add another actions. And this action we are going to call it get change for an item or a file. So which is this get changes for an item or a file. So we wait for that to load, and we can modify its property or parameters. So the first, we're going to select the SharePoint site also, still the same IT team, and the list name still remain our IT helpdesk list. And the ID, we are going to use dynamic content, and we are going to select the ID of the item that was changed. And for the scenes, we're going to click on plus, expand this, and we're going to head down to look at trigger window start token. So once we have that, we're going to minimize this, and the next thing will be to add a conditional statement. So here I'm going to search for condition. So condition should be under control condition. So the first condition I'm going to add will be, okay, if this item has changed, right? So if it has changed, then trigger. So I'm going to go with the dynamic option, and this time I'm going to expand the first one, which gives a boolean, and I'm going to take this if column has changed. That means if the assigned task column has changed, trigger. Since this gives out a boolean, this the value either will be true or false. So I'm still going to go back to functions. On that function, I'm just going to search for true, right, which is the first true, and that's good. Also, the second condition we might want to add will be that, okay, now we go back to IT help desk. Imagine a task is being changed, an assigned task is being changed from a person to empty. Like, okay, let's say we assign this task to someone before, and then later we don't want to assign it to anybody any longer. We can just click and then remove, like click you remove to remove the person that was added. At that instance, we don't want any mail to go out. That means we don't want our workflow to run, right? So for that case, we'll add another condition, which is still, this time we look at assign tax value. We can pick end of the value, let's say assign tax display name. So when we say, okay, if it's not equal to, so that means if it's not equal to a function, and then the function will just use this null. That's how we're going to work with the condition. And if this condition is passed and is true, we'll want it to send an email to the person we are assigning the task to. So I'm going to use the send email, the version 2 of send email. So under the version 2, I'm going to say to, I'm adding a dynamic content, and I'm going to use dynamic content. So dynamic, we are going to show more. This time we'll look at the person that the task has been assigned to, the email address of the person. So we are sending an email to this email address. The subject will be the subject of the task that we are working on. Remember, the person logged the task itself, so we go back to the task and pick out the subject, which is this. For the body of the email, we'll just paste this, and hello. The first line will be the greetings, and then we are greeting the person that the task was assigned to. So we just go back to this, and then we look at the assigned task display name. That's the name of the person the task has been assigned to. You, the task ID will be our title, right? So we'll go to the title, and then this is the title. The subject is already there as the subject of the email, so we might really not bother. For the date, we'll get the date the issue was created. So I'm going to show more, and I'm going to click date. Assigned by will be the person that modified the column, so I'm going to click on dynamic content, show more. I'm going to take this down a little to look for the person. So we see modified by picture claim, this time modified by claim, modified by display name. So display name gives the name of the person that assigned the task. So the person that this task was assigned to can see this email and then go back to the SharePoint site. Please revert back to the SharePoint site for more details. So he can go back to the SharePoint site rather, to view the task that was assigned to him or her. So you can decide to say, okay, let me copy all that persons that are IT admin and all that, but really not really necessary for this. So I'm just going to click on save to save this workflow. Got it. We've not run it. So for us to run it, let's go back to our SharePoint list. Currently this task has not been assigned to anybody, so I'll just go ahead and assign this task to someone. So I'll modify that, go to the assign name and go and then type in a name. Can decide to assign it to myself, for instance. Select my name. So once I have that selected, it's going to load and save. Currently this task has been assigned to me. So let's go back to our workflow to see if our workflow run. I'm going to refresh that. On refreshing the page, we see that it has run. So let's click on it to view it. So looking at the workflow, we see that every element of the workflow ran. The condition was true, so that means it was true and the email was sent out, which all happened. So if I go back to my email to refresh, and if I open it, as simple as hello, my name, a task has been assigned to you, this is the ticket ID, assigned it, the person that assigned it, I was the one that assigned it, so please check the SharePoint site for more details. So I get that notification that, oh, I have a task currently assigned to me that I need to go work on. So far so good. That's the first part. So let's go back to the SharePoint site. So imagine I'm modifying this list, that I don't want to assign this task again to Abel or to anybody. So I just click to clear out his name. So I click on save. In this case, I don't want the Power Automate to run and then send an email out, right? So let's see what happened after doing that, modifying that. So let's go back. So we see the second flow that has run. Once we click on it, so we see it has run successfully, but once we get to the condition, we see that the email did not go out, and we can check the condition to see more details. We see that the outcome is false, so which is actually what we want. This completes the training for this section. So in the last part, we are going to go back and create a flow that will run whenever a task is completed. Stay tuned.